Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death.
Okay, so we are here outside of Planned Parenthood in order to call for an end to federal funding of Planned Parenthood. Between the years of 2014 to 2015, Planned Parenthood received $528 million from the U.S. government, according to NPR.org. We don't believe that Planned Parenthood should receive that federal funding, and there are 4 reasons for this. Reason number 1, Planned Parenthood is the nation's largest abortion chain. In the fiscal year of 2014 to 2015, according to their annual report, Planned Parenthood did over 300,000 abortions. Out of the over 900,000 abortions done nationwide, according to the Guttmacher Institute, the institute that's responsible for tracking abortions, Planned Parenthood did almost 35% of those abortions. Almost 13% of their patients get an abortion, and that's about 1 out of 8. Planned Parenthood makes between almost $200 million a year and almost $500 million a year from abortions. That's between 25% and 65% of their annual revenue, which no matter where it is in between that, it's still way more than their 3% figure. Now, where do they get that 3% figure? They get that 3% figure by dividing the number of abortions by the number of so-called services, which they define as discrete clinical interactions, meaning that anytime you walk into a Planned Parenthood facility and see a person that works there, that is already a service. The number of services they provided during the fiscal year of 2014 to 2015 was over 9 million. That's 3.4% in terms of how many abortions they did to how many services they provided. According to the Washington Post fact checker gave this statistic 3 Pinocchios as being pretty much the most meaningless abortion statistic ever. The second reason that Planned Parenthood should not receive federal funding is because Planned Parenthood is a corrupt organization. Planned Parenthood has been caught shielding child predators, lying about what services they provide, deceiving government officials, defying state and federal laws, submitting fraudulent Medicaid claims, and harvesting and selling fetal tissue. Now, most of these undercover investigations were done by the people at liveaction.com. But also, a lot of this information is available on the Charlotte Lozier Institute, which is the institute responsible for making sure that places like Planned Parenthood are operating according to ethical standards. Amen, Amen, Maria. The third reason for why Planned Parenthood should not receive federal funding is that Planned Parenthood actually exaggerates their role in women's health care. There were an estimated 50 million pap smears done per year in the United States, according to the American Association for Cancer Research. Planned Parenthood did just over 200,000 of those pap smears. That's only 0.5% of all the pap smears done in the United States. They also don't actually do any mammograms at all. They only do manual breast exams and referrals for mammograms, and they like to use the misleading language of offering access to mammograms. According to the Washington Post fact checker, they also receive 3 Pinocchios for this statistic. They don't really offer any prenatal care either. Live Action called 91 Planned Parenthood locations nationwide, locations and affiliates nationwide, and out of those 91, only 5 offer prenatal care. According to their 2014 to 2015 annual report, Planned Parenthood provided prenatal care to just over 17,000 people. They saw 2.5 million patients. That means that only 0.69% of patients, about 0.7% of patients went to Planned Parenthood for prenatal care. That's only 69 out of every 10,000 patients that go to Planned Parenthood. They also offer absolutely no pediatric care and actually give women special instructions not to bring their children into their facilities, as well as not offering any kind of general health care at all. The fourth reason for why we are here is that defunding Planned Parenthood would not reduce funding for women's health care at all. The point of this protest is not just to take funds away from Planned Parenthood, but to take those same $528 million from Planned Parenthood and put them into federally qualified health centers. There are 13 times more federally qualified health centers than Planned Parenthood centers in the United States. They serve 8 times more patients than Planned Parenthood. They provide prenatal care, pregnancy tests, pap smears, manual breast exams, mammograms, and other cancer screenings with a wider range of services at a higher standard of care for a lower cost than Planned Parenthood ever could or will provide.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at